Off we go. Well, hello, everybody. Welcome to Serenity Cards and Coaching. This is our free online class for August. And can't believe it's August already. I've been playing with some Christmas cards, but I'm pivoting away from Christmas and focused on flowers. So for today, we are going to focus on the Wonderful World Designer Series paper. And this paper, actually this bundle, you can earn this bundle free for celebration with a minimum $100 purchase. You know what? I didn't check availability. So sometimes it's in stock and sometimes it's out of stock. But in a perfect world, you can earn this free with a minimum $100 purchase. However, you can also get this kit that I'm showing today free with a minimum purchase as well. So you can get little touches of the paper. And what we are doing is Wonderful World, so many sizes. You guys know I've been, I got my room redone and I've been kind of getting rid of some stuff, going through supplies. And I realized I have some square envelopes. So we're going to make a square card today. And then I've got these teeny tiny vellum envelopes, which we don't sell anymore. So we don't sell envelopes for the big card or the little card. But I just wanted to show you this paper works so well in so many different sizes that I just wanted to show it to you. And I did have enough that I could include these in kits. So, so we are going to make these 5 cards today, so many sizes. So we're going to make this teeny tiny little guy, including a little sticker that you can put on the back of the envelope. I'll show you a little technique for that. This paper just lends itself so well to just cutting all different shapes and sizes. Then we're going to use the mini pocket card. I love this guy. That's another way to do this paper with a postage stamp punch. And you could put someone a little tag. Carrie, that's your glimmer paper that you love so much. So, so we're gonna use that paper in the mini pocket card, and then working our way up. I don't know if you know, but we sell craft note cards. They come with a note card and a craft envelope, and they're just super fun to make a cute little card, pop it in the mail, send it to someone. So I'm going to show you how to make this card. I'm going to ask everybody to mute. Welcome, welcome everybody. I'm going to ask you that you mute yourself. Welcome, welcome. So we're going to make this craft note card today. Then working our way up, we're going to do the our normal, I guess A2 is it, card, but with a fun little fold. And so I'll show us how to do that. And you get this, I've just started putting the kit together. So, and I'll show you how to cut this fold today, in case you want to try to replicate it on your own. And then finally, we'll close with the largest card. So many sizes, we're going smallest to largest. So we'll end with this square card. And again, in the kit, you get a square envelope. So I love the stamps. I love the paper. I love the colors. Like there's so many different things you can do with them. So why don't we go ahead and get started? We're going to start with this guy. And you know what? I sealed it all up and photographed it. And then I realized that I couldn't take a close-up of it because it was all sealed up. But I thought, you know what? I want to open it in front of you guys anyway. So that's fine. So this, like, imagine giving this little sweet little card to someone and they get it and they open the sticker on the back. Now it might rip or it might not. That's fine. It's a sticker. And then there's this tiny little note card inside of it. Just look at this sweet little, this was actually in a Stampin' Up! Catalog a few years ago. It was love notes. It was for Valentine's Day. So Bob just made me a really sweet rose quilt. So I'm going to put this in another envelope and just put this on his breakfast table and just put a little note in it telling him thank you and I love you. But let's just start with this little simple guy. Now, again, free with minimum purchase, you can get these cards. Else the class is $20. But I will show you what's in the class. So we're going to start with the teeny tiny one first. So again, I give you this vellum envelope and it's just got the few littlest pieces in it. So you've got a piece of cardstock. It fits inside the envelope. So I believe it's a 1 3/4 square. So that would be 3.5 by 1 3/4 and then score in half, right? So it's just a tiny little guy, and you can open him sideways or you can open him like a little book. And then you get this linen thread. You get just a little strip of the linen thread. You get the envelope, and then these are the Stylish Shapes dies. And I'll show you, well, I'll show you 3 of them. The Stylish Shapes dies come, there's various size squares, and they're kind of stitched. That's the smallest one. There's various size circles. That's one of the medium ones. We're going to use that in the kit. And then there's, I think, a couple banner dies. So we're using those throughout the kit today. And here is the teeny tiniest square. So in your kit, I'm just going to go through the paper and just line it up and carefully cut different sizes for you. And so one you can use on the outside of the envelope and one you can use on the inside of the envelope. I don't know if you guys remember the days of inchies. There used to be a phase for a while where you would make an inchy. You would make a card that was like an inch by an inch and do something on that surface. That's kind of what this reminds me of. But what I'm going to do here, now I rarely use snail or seal or Seal Plus, but here's a case where I'm going to use it. You use your double-sided adhesive. I just happen to have some old snail I want to get rid of, but we've got Seal Plus and it's really, really good. So I'm going to put that line in the middle of my cardstock, and then I'm going to put that ribbon right there. And then I'm going to come in, and I'm going to come in with some long scissors. Now, we used to sell these. We don't anymore. If you can find them somewhere out and about, I really, really recommend them, because look, they just come in and you can just cut so nicely. And you can just get just exactly the edge that you want. So, so anyway, I will give you a piece of ribbon that's just a little bit longer. This is our linen ribbon. And then we're gonna come in. So I think I'm gonna put the rose on this one too. I'm just gonna use 1 dimensional. Now here's a tip for you. When I'm putting a dimensional, and I know I'm gonna adhere it to ribbon, I will add a little bit of glue to the back just so it's, and I mean, our dimensionals are super sticky and they're super adhesive and they stay, but I know when I'm going on like a piece of fabric or a piece of ribbon, I just want it to be extra durable. So I'm coming in and I'm kind of centering that. If I want to play with it, I could put some mini glue dots under my ribbon so that it's placed just perfectly. I'm going to sign my little love note. Thank you, Bob. I love you. Thanks for making my rose quilt. I'll show you guys that one day. And then I'm going to put it just right inside the note card envelope. I'm going to fold it. Again, you get this inside the kit. I wish we still had them. We don't. But here's an adhesive I want to show you. We do have this. These are our adhesive sheets. And this is how you can make a sticker. I'm going to show you. And you'll get a swatch like this. So you lift up, it's just a protective coating, right? So you lift that up, you place whatever it is you want to make a sticker. You just kind of put it right in the middle like that. And now we've got adhesive all over the back. If you want it to be a little more frugal, I'm going to give you more than you need so that you have plenty. But if you wanted to cut it off, you could certainly cut it off and be exact and precise. But anyway, I'm just going to make a little sticker. I'm going to put that on the back, and there's our sweet card number 1. Look how sweet that is. Oh gosh, now I got to ruin this again because I'm going to, one of these I won't ruin, and I'll sign it and I'll give it to Bob. So anyway, that, and this would just look so cute. I don't know, popped in a kid's lunchbox or a grandkid's lunchbox, or just give a little note to anybody. Just a little, you know what, you could even put it out for a waitress or someone if you're out having a meal. So anyway, just a fun little card. I saw Melody posted to one of our pages. Stamper Melody said, when is it appropriate to give a card? And the answer was to anyone, anywhere, anytime. And I thought that was pretty awesome. All right, so in your kit, you're going to get the ingredients for the 5 cards. And now we're going to move on to making this guy. And this is what we're going to make. So again, this paper lends itself to just doing little accents, little pockets, little tags, all of the above. So we're going to kind of play with all of that. So this die is called a mini pocket die. And if you place it just right, you can fit it, I think, on a 1/4 inch square of cardstock. I was not getting it exactly just right, but anyway, it's just about the size of a 1/4 inch square of cardstock. And you could either put it on DSP and roll it through, which I could have done, or you could do it on cardstock. So I did it on Mossy Meadow cardstock. So I rolled that through, and I've already burnished it, but you want to take time to take your bone folder and just give a good score everywhere. I will give you one tip. I scored the 2 tabs first, then I came over and I made sure I liked that was good and squared up. Then I came in with a final bone folder over here. So I made sure that I had the flaps done first, and then I came and did that. So so here, now you'll notice these corners are rounded. If you have a corner rounder, you might take your corner rounder and use that. Again, we don't have those right now, so that's fine. I'm just going to go ahead and put the square version here. It's really fine either way. I just love tools, and so I use them. But see, it looks just fine, just nicely lined like that. So you're going to put your liner on the inside first. And again, all the Designer Series paper that I'm using here is in the Wonderful World Designer Series paper pack. Some of you I know have already earned it. And again, you'll get exactly the amount you need for doing the kit here today. So now I'm going to go ahead and I already wrote the PDF and double checked it as I was cutting and scoring everything. So made my list and checked it twice, and so it's got all the right measurements. So you could copy this for yourself and make these same, if you didn't have these envelopes, you could use an envelope scoreboard if you happen to have one and make an envelope, or you could copy it. You could very easily just take an envelope and kind of trace around it and score it. But anyway, here is our mini pocket fold. And then each one of you will get the postage stamp. I will take the postage stamp. I have not used this enough. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. So you'll get just a random pattern. There wasn't enough for me to give everybody an identical pattern, but you'll get a random pattern, and that's going to go on the front. So I'm going to pop this right on the front. I don't know if I'm following exactly the sequence of my instructions. It kind of doesn't matter the order that you do it in, but so I've got that guy on the front. Let's go ahead and get this pocket sealed up. So I'm going to use my tear and tape to get the pocket sealed up. And so I'm going to put my tear and tape from edge to edge. And then the tear and tape is a little wider than the strip of the you can see it's a little wider than, and I don't want it to go beyond the edge of it. So I'm going to peel it, and then I'm going to kind of roll it back on itself so that the adhesive isn't getting outside. So I'm going to do that on both edges, and then we'll get our pocket sealed up. So if you don't have tear and tape, it's really good when you're going to make boxes or where you're going to do fun folds and you want it to be really, really, really sturdy. So when I first started, I'm like, goodness sakes, do we really need this many adhesives? And the answer is yes, we really need this many adhesives because they each do a different job. And so over time, we get our library of tools and we have the right tool for the right job. But if you don't have it, you can just use glue and that's fine. So I'm rolling back the tear and tape on itself, and it's fine. It's super sticky on both sides. And now I'm going to come in and just make sure I'm going to start at the bottom first and get that all adhered. And then I'm going to square up over here. And because I spent so much time being really, really careful of my burnish, they just fell into place really nicely. So that is the outside, and it's just a fun little mini pocket. I do not know if it holds a gift card, but as I'm looking at it, I don't think it would be big enough to hold a gift card. And then for the tag, I just think tags are super easy to decorate. Now, I hope I didn't lose the hearts. I think I might have been moving stuff everywhere around, and I may not have the little heart here, so we may need to do a little pretending. But I can pick whichever side of the DSP that I want. You guys will, when I do these kits, when I do with my, when I do this kit, I have 2 different kits I offer. When I do this one, I do cut most of the designer series paper for you. So you'll have that. So let's see. I've got that. I've got that. I've got my twine. And all right, I don't think that I have the little heart on here. So we're just going to pretend. You're going to use this twine a few places. So start here and have just a long enough tail. Wrap it around twice and then tie a little bow. So that's that guy. And then you're going to have some left over. You're going to put it on the coming out of the top too. So I'll show you that. So there we go. We've got our little bow on the bottom, and we can fuss and fudge it and kind of fidget and get those just right. And then at the top, I use maybe a couple inches, maybe 3 inches, and I go through on the front. So you'll have this tag already punched out for you. You go through the front. You kind of have it folded in half. You go through the front. Then you open up your little loop. You pull your 2 little strings through. And then that's where you've got like a nice, you've got your, it's probably a name for it, but you've got your nice little knot in the front. So that's your tag. And then the only other thing you're going to stamp. I love these stamps. I will show you these stamps. This says sending you this paper hug. So you can stamp at any point. It's flat right now, so you can still stamp. You can put your little heart on it with a mini Stampin' Dimensional. I'll give you some gems. These are the in color opals. So you can decorate that with a little gem. And then it just pops right on the inside. And then I'll give you the bow. And you can double bow. You can pop that on the front. And then I just don't know where they went, but you can get a little dragonfly too, punched out of vellum using the dragonfly's punch. So you're going to get the little one, and then another little gem there. And that's that guy, super cute. So I'll show you these stamps in a second. So I lovingly cut all of these out, and then I don't know where they are, so that's okay. But they'll be easy to find in your kit, and that'll be something you can do. So let me do some house cleaning. Let me get some of this stuff out of the way here. And let me show you this stamp set. This stamp set, I love this stamp set. This is Through It Together. And it's got all these different sentiments. So one of the sentiments we're going to use today is praying for blankets of healing around you and yours. So that's one of the ones we're going to do. But it's got everything. Follow your dreams. You're capable of great things. We're going to do that one today. Don't let worry spoil your happy. Forever grateful. Believe in yourself. Thank you. I miss you. Get well. We just used sending you this paper hug. I'm here for you with much love. It's just, I know they seem kind of tiny, but then when you look at this context, it fits just perfectly right on that context. And so very sweet. So that is the Throw It Together stamp set. And that is that little cute little mini envelope. And you can see there's all different flower patterns. So you'll just get whichever ones you guys get. So that's that guy. And now we're going to work our way up in size. I'm going to pause though and see how, oh, Doris joined. Hi, Doris. And maybe Courtney's there too. If there's any and Cindy joined. If there's any questions, you guys can come off to ooh and ah, or you can come off to ask any questions.
That DSP is beautiful.
Oh, we needed some summer. We needed some summer. Yeah. Alrighty, so now we're gonna work on this guy, and I've got all the ingredients. So here's our craft note card, and you could also do the same thing. You could make it out of crumb cake, which I think 7 by 5, and then you score it at 3.5. So that's your little note card. And then same as we do with white, sometimes we're going to do tone on tone, but we're going to do it with crumb cake, and it comes with a craft envelope, by the way. So so you're going to get your crumb cake layer, and you're going to get your designer series paper layer. Now note, sometimes some of the flowers are upside down and some are right side up, and I mean that's just the look of it. It's just kind of whimsical. That's just the look of it. So that's it's just a happy little hello. So we're going to go ahead and I definitely though cut this, like I cut it the landscape direction, because when I tried cutting it like the other direction, that was just wrong. Like to try to do the portrait direction, that was just wrong. So I did the landscape direction, and it's just such pretty pops of color. So we're going to go ahead and adhere that to our layer. I think I might have trimmed this one just a little narrow, so I want to make a note that I get the right size for that guy. I just double checked all my measurements, but make sure I got the PDF perfect and all your cuts perfect. So now we've got our crumb cake layer, and then I used polished pink with this, even though polished pink wasn't one of the colors that matched the designer series paper. I love polished pink. I love pink. And so I thought it just really kind of matched with like that little swatch right there. So I've got polished pink sheer ribbon, and you'll get a couple feet of it. We'll make a little bow. Now I'm doing the bow first before I adhere this. And then you'll see that it just, you want to make sure you do that before you adhere it. Otherwise you're going to have to wrap it, I guess, around the whole note card itself, but I kind of like it just on the layer. So I've got this cut, I've got this just right here, and I'll give it a few little snips, and then I can adhere it to my note card, and I'm going to do that with dimensionals. And then I use that stitched stylish shapes again to do this guy out of the purple paper. So I'll show you that in a second. So let's see. I like the placement of the ribbon a little bit lower. I've got my dimensionals all dimensional. I'm going to go ahead and adhere that. There we go. I'm going to adhere this guy on, and then I'll just pop those pretty quickly. And then I'll stamp the sentiment. I stamped the sentiment in Mossy Meadow. Mossy Meadow is a great green for this. Mossy Meadow is just a great green. It's good with autumn coming up, and it's good for Christmas. It's just a really good staple to have. So there we go. We're going to get that adhered. And then you know how when you're cutting your basic white cardstock and you have like extra 1/2-inch strips, it's really great to save them because they're really good to use just as a little sentiment right there. So we're just going to stamp a sentiment really quickly in Mossy Meadow. I'm just going to grab whatever. I didn't even read it. I'll just grab it, but I like this size, and I'll grab my Mossy Meadow, which is nicely organized in my new room. And I think I just recently re-inked it, so I'm going to give it a good test. Oh, Believe in Yourself. That's a good one. So I'll go ahead and stamp that. And then I'll cut it. I'll pop it on with a dimensional. And then there's that little note card. And how great of a message would that be just to send to somebody, right? So somebody's maybe having a rough day, or I don't know, you just want to let them know you're believing them. So I'm going to use a full dimensional, and it'll fit just, but really I would rather use mini dimensionals. So I'll go ahead and pop that in the middle. And there we go. We've got, you could have used Don't Let Worry Spoil Your Happy. You could have used Believe in Yourself. Sweet little note card. So that's that guy. So we're working our way up in the sizes, girls, and we're ready to get to this fun fold. And this fun fold really is fun. So let me do a little bit of house cleaning here. And let me get to the supplies. And I want to show you how to make this guy, actually. I want to show you exactly how to make this fold because it takes an extra little step. So I'm going to show you that. So
It's a beautiful card, Janet.
oh, thank you. Thank you. You know, I've just many times I get inspired by other designers, but I was just playing one day and I thank you. I just
Beautiful.
kind of let myself play. So this is our 8.5 by 11 cardstock. This is thick. I always do my card bases in a thick cardstock. So like when I'm doing a card like this, I'll do the base in thick and then I'll do this in thin. Thin stamps really nicely. Thick is just really durable, and especially if we're doing a fun fold. So I'm doing this. I scored it already at the 5.5 inch mark. And I'm going to cut it at the 4 1/4. And so this is just standard. We know this. This is just a way that we can make a card. And we could stop there if we wanted to. Did I do that right? Sometimes I don't see correctly. Okay, so now we've got, it's basically a card front and it looks like a card front, right? But we want to get this extra inch off. So how are we going to get this extra inch off? So the way we're going to do that, our trimmer is our friend. I love our trimmer for this behavior. So I'm going to cut 1 inch in on the 5.5 inch mark because I know I want to cut an inch off. So I'm going to just start right here, cutting an inch this way. So I'm going to line this up on the 5.5 inch mark, which it's 5.5 over here. And so that I already did the score mark at 5.5. I'm going to put my blade at the top. And then if you can see, I've got markers all along this side. So there's a 1 inch and a 2 inch and a 3 inch. I'm going to take my blade. I'm on the 5.5 inch score line, and I'm going to take my blade down to the 1 inch. So I'm just going to do that. And one way that I can tell, because you guys, my eyes aren't the greatest. One way that I can tell is there's like a little notch on the side of the blade itself, like of the casing. And so I'm just going to make sure that I'm good at 5.5. And I can, this is good and pressed down and sealed. And I'm just going to hold it tight and I'm going to come down to 1 inch. And so I've come down to 1 inch and that's that. So now I've got a cut mark right there. Now I want to get rid of the wrist of this. And so I know this is 4 1/4. And so to come off at 1 inch, I'm going to go to 3 1/4. And I'm just going to cut it and I'm going to come all the way down to the 5.5. Now the cool thing is because I've already cut it, I can feel it right when I'm getting there. And so there we go. Now it's kind of like reverse then, right? So I did it so that it would be easy for cutting. So then you just flip the thing over. So now I've taken off a 1 inch by 5.5 inch. Now for you, you guys, when you get my kit, I'll already do that for you. But I do like to show you how to do it because I really like to make learning kits. And I really hope that like once you see it in action and you touch it and you play with it and you see it, you're like, oh my gosh, I like that. I've seen it. I can do it. And I have a model right in front of me. I can follow it. So that's my wish for you. So that's why I like to kind of show you here and put it in the instructions but also do it for you. So now I'm going to come over here into the So Many Sizes kit pack. And, oh, okay, that's extra because I already did it. So this is what you would get in your kit, by the way. You would get one that was already done. You would get a piece of this. Now we're going to need to kind of cut it into shape. We're not going to adhere it just like that. I'm going to roll it through the die cut machine for you, but you got to get it a little size just right. So you're going to get all these different ingredients. The first thing you're going to do is you're going to adhere the designer series paper. Now I think this is about 1.5 inch wide, so it goes beyond the goes beyond the opening. but it's about, and don't think it's crazy, it's about a 1/16 of an inch short. And I'll tell you, let me show you the difference. Let me show you why. This one's a 1/16 of an inch short. This one isn't. Look what happened. When I cut it exactly at the 5.5, it's just not staying, no matter how much glue I put on it. It just needs that little 1/16 saved off. So I will do that for you. I will shave off 1/16, but I'm going to get that glued up and I'm going to put it in, and I'm going to be really careful not to put it right next to the very top so that the fold happens pretty seamlessly. And so then what's going to happen is, since there's a little bit of space at the top and bottom, just for aesthetics, I'm going to leave a little bit of space on the right too, but it's the tiniest little space. You can't even tell. And so now it just folds so nicely, right? So there you go. There's your strip, nice and added in. And let's go ahead and build our card. Now this guy, I will cut it, like I will die cut it for you and I'll send you exactly this, but it's too long. We don't want it that long. So whatever size I said in the instructions, let me look what size I said in the instructions. I said, let's cut it to 4 7/8. So I know lots of 8ths and 16ths in this guy. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to make one edge of the scallop pretty. So I'm going to cut it off so that it's not some weird little thing happening there. Then I'm going to come over and I'm going to go to 4 7/8. So 4 7/8 is probably right about there. And then I'm going to see if I like what the top and the bottom look like, because it doesn't have to be exact. It's really like you just want something aesthetic and pretty, right? So you could have it a little longer or a little shorter. It looks like here I cut it exactly at the beginning and the end of a scallop. Now the other thing I want to do, and you're going to need to do this, you can see that I didn't cut it exactly perfectly straight, and I won't. You guys can do that. So I'm going to line up my scallop. Again, I love our trimmer because it's got all these shapes on the left and the right side. So I'm going to line that up right there, and I'm just going to cut it kind of at the 1/2 inch mark. And now I've got a straight piece, so I can go ahead and adhere it. So when you get the kit, that's going to be your responsibility, is do a little bit of trimming and a little bit of getting it just right. So then, but before I put it on, I wanted to get it ready, but I want to stamp first before I get it on, because we're stamping and we're stamping something very precisely, and we don't want it to be bumpy on the back of it. So let's get the rest of this ready. So I've got that there, that looks good. And I'm going to be putting that there, that looks good. So I'm kind of building my piece as I go along. That's going to go right there, that looks good. I can put my ribbon off to the side. I will give you a scrap, probably not that large. That's just the piece that I grabbed, but I'll probably give you a smaller scrap. You need a scrap because we're going to stamp the flower, and I'm going to show you. I don't often use Stampin' Write markers, but I'm going to use them today, and I'm going to show you how to do this flower. So first I'm going to stamp on the circle, then I'm going to stamp this image, and I'm going to fussy cut it. And I'm going to have that right there, knowing that's what I want, and I'm going to get my stamping done. So let me get my glue over here. Let me get my Stampin' Write markers, and let me get my ink pad, and let's do it. Let me get the flower. These flowers are so pretty. So I'm going to talk them up, and I hope they're still available. They've been like in stock, out of stock, in stock, out of stock. So if you got them, you got them. If you didn't, any roses would work. I've really been making it a point to try to show how to make cards with different products. You know who does that really great? I mean, many of you guys do, but Carrie does a really, really good job of like taking paper. Cindy does a great job, like take the paper and fussy cut it. just mix it up a little. Judy, actually, you guys all do a great job of using the supplies. You know what? I can mention every single one of your names. Doris does, like everybody does. You do a good job, but I've been trying to do that more too. So what am I doing? I am coloring with the Stampin' Write markers. I just got these markers. These are, I call them like an ink pad in a marker format. So they're like our classic markers. They're like our classic ink pads, only they're in marker format. And I'll show you why I say that. So what I'm doing is I'm coloring the rose in Melon Mambo, and I colored the stem in Mossy Meadow. That was a lot of M's. And I'm gonna stamp it off first just to see. It might be a little saturated and it might be a little rich. So let me look. Yeah. I'm gonna come back in and just do a second stamping. So this is called stamping off. If you've never done it, this is called stamping off. So I'm coming in with a second stamping. So I colored this, and especially you guys, these are brand new. They are so saturated. They are like very, 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 very juicy. And so I didn't want the stem just quite that dark. I wanted like a second generation. So that's called stamping off. If you've never heard of it, you can stamp off and then you get a different impression. Now we're going to cover up this other rose anyway. So, and I'm doing the other rose. I'm doing that with an ink pad. So I just kind of like the way that our distinctive stamps work with our ink pads. So I'm coming in with Melon Mambo, and I'm going to come in with my snips, and I'm just going to go ahead and cut the rose. So I'm going to go ahead and fussy cut all the way around my rose, and then I'm going to adhere it all the way around the rose flower. I'm going to cut off the stem right there. And I'm doing this to get some dimension and just to get some shape. So I'm going to go ahead and put that on a dimensional right there. If I don't like it, I can stamp it again and play with it to get like exactly the color and the cut and everything that I want, but I like it just fine. I'm going to go ahead and place it right there. I'm going to take the bow, so I'll give you guys the bow. Sometimes I tie the bow, sometimes I don't, but I'm going to tie the bow for you guys, and you can take your mini glue dots. Now I've gotten to be quite a little mess over here, you guys, but hold on. I know where my other mini glue dots are because I'm organized. I love my room. I do. Oh my gosh, I'm so grateful. It's so many years in the making. So many years. Okay, mini glue dots right there. I'm going to go ahead and put, this is a linen ribbon, and oh my goodness, it's just soft and pliable and so pretty. So I'm just going to put it right there. I'm going to use my nice snips. These are a little gummy, but so they may not give the best cut, but you're going to take your nicest snips. You're going to give a good cut. Then you're going to come over here. These are going to go on dimensionals. Oopsie. These are going to go on dimensionals. So you want to make sure, I'm not going to take the dimensional off, because what I'm doing now is I'm placing all my elements. I know I kind of botched the ribbon. Ignore that. Admire this pretty ribbon cut. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and place these. So I kind of want all of that right there. I want the circle not going over, but I'm okay with the banner going over. I'm doing all this so I can see, where do I want to place my sentiment? And I think I want my sentiment right there. So I'm actually going to go ahead and use the same sentiment in the same color, just for magic of television. But this one had Blackberry Bliss. So, and it said, praying for blankets of healing around you and yours. I love that. I can actually think of numerous people I want to send that to, but this one we're just going to say, believe in yourself. May not be perfectly straight. You're going to take the time from the luxury of your home to make sure it's perfectly straight. I'm going to go ahead and pop that right there. Oh my gosh, I like it. Awesome. All right. Very grateful. And now I can start. What?
Good job.
Good job. Good job. It doesn't always work that way. Sometimes it needs an extra. All right. So now I can go ahead and build. So I'm going to get that guy on. Make sure don't put glue too far over there, else it'll, you know, it'll seal it shut. Go ahead and get your dimensionals taken off. Get your circle on, and now we can come in and place our this guy and our scallop border. And the way we're going to do that, we're just going to put the thinnest strip right here of glue, and we're going to kind of eyeball where we want it. I feel like I want it. I want it right there. And there's like these little stitches that show. I want the little stitches to show. So I can take, because it's glue, I can take a little time and get it placed where I want. And there we go. Here's our fun card. All right, before I go on to the next one, which one's your favorite one so far?
Hard to pick.
Which one?
The tiny one, the little tiny one for me.
The teeny tiny one. Okay.
Yeah, I love that one.
Super cute.
Like
All
the
right.
mini pocket.
The mini pocket. All right.
Mhm.
Very fun.
The last
All right.
one.
The last one. I'll show the one with the better ribbon. All righty. Okay.
That one too. Beautiful. They're all
Very
lovely.
fun.
All of them are gorgeous.
They
Yeah.
are lovely.
Yay, they're flowers. I'm so grateful to be playing with flowers. I've been doing a lot of Christmas. It's August, and I've been doing Christmas already. I'm grateful to be back in the flowers. And actually, I'll show you. We'll do a little detour spotlight. I want to remove the spotlight. I want to show you something behind me. So I'm going to put a spotlight here. I decorated my background today to match our flowers. So this was my grandmother's doll. This was our grandmother's doll, Doris, Carrie, Lee, and I. That was Opal. And so she's joining us. She's in purple today, so she's joining us. And then there's Georgia O'Keeffe. And so we've got a little bit of purple going on and flowers. So I've been having fun. But anyway.
And Sammy.
And Sammy. Sammy's in Aloha. So Samantha was the doll on the other side. She's in Aloha.
She didn't get the memo.
She didn't get the memo. She didn't get the memo. All right. So final. I've been excited. I've had that idea for like a few weeks now, and I'm like, it's Purple Day. I can put him out. And then we were talking about dolls the other day, so I'm like, I'm gonna bring my doll out. All right. Back to flowers. All right, this is the final card. And in the instructions, you're going to even see that I call this card, thank you, Linda, because Linda sent me a square card and I loved it. This is like the second card I've made based on it. So as I told you guys, I was going through some organizing my supplies and I found a bunch of square envelopes. I think I was going to put that in a kit one time and I didn't. So we're going to put it in a kit today. So I found a bunch of square envelopes. They're 5.5 by 5.5. So I cut the cardstock to match. So all the measurements are in the PDF or in the kit, but I think it's down to 5.25 by 5.25. So this is it. And a little bit of embossing over here, and I'll bring your attention to something about the embossing when we get to it. There's that little 1/2-inch strip again, right? So super useful. And then these are the opals. So we put a little bit of opals and no ribbon on this guy, but the opals go right in the middle there. And these are our distinctive stamps. Now, if you've got the paper and you don't have the stamps, you could fussy cut, or you could use different flowers. You could use a big sentiment. I mean, there's really so many things. And I've seen people when they get my kits, they're like, oh, I don't want the yellow stripes. I want the other side. So much versatility with this paper. But let's go ahead and this is our final card today. So we've got him. This is our basic white thick cut and scored so that we've got a square. And then I use the gingham embossing folder, and the gingham embossing folder isn't wide enough to put the whole square through. Well, guess what? Who notices? Nobody, right? Like, you're not studying it. You kind of see the pop of color over here, but you're not like really following it over here because now your eyes are focused on the stripes. So we've got just a little pop of texture on this side. So that's what we're going to do. So, and by the way, while I'm gathering these supplies, I forgot to tell you that scallop is from hand penned. So for those of you who got the hand penned dies, I wanted to show you how to use your scallop. I ignored these and avoided these for years. So hopefully, like, even if you don't make exactly this card or whatever, this is from the hand pen dies, and I know a lot of you guys got them. Anyway, back to this. So, so that's the gingham embossing folder, and we did that guy. Who can tell me what color this is? I know Lynn can.
It's one of the new colors.
It is. Is
Dark-
that you?
Yeah, is it orchid?
It's Orchid Oasis, absolutely. All righty, so there we go. All right, so you guys, this just becomes a gluing exercise, right? So we glue this guy on, we glue this guy on, we put these two together, we glue these guys on, and then we're gonna stamp this guy. We'll glue him. We glue him on. Everything is glued. The only thing that's dimensional is that little sentiment strip. So let's go ahead and stamp the flowers because they just stamp so lusciously. So these are from the Wonderful World. And of course we need a bigger block for that. And the paper, the ink color is the Starry Sky, which I keep calling Starry, Starry Night. Because I love Van Gogh. And let's see what else we're going to do. We're going to get this protected a little bit. So I'm going to go ahead and protect this. And I'm going to use my Starry Sky. I'm going to get it good and inked up. So this is a case where for sure the whole flower is not going to fit on, right? So I'm going to get it inked up and then I'm just going to kind of place it just like that. I want a little bit of white space around it. Look how nice our distinctive stamps are. They're just luscious. They're just gorgeous. You know what? I think I did that one in Oasis. Well, this one's in Starry Sky. I think I did that one in Oasis. So let me make a note of that too. Stamp in Oasis. Oasis ink. But Starry Sky looks really pretty also. So we've got this. And you're going to adhere it here. And then you're going to come in with the gems and you're going to put the 3 gems. So you're going to get enough gems from this 2021-2023 in color opal rounds. These are not the Starry Sky in colors. These are last year's. These are like polished pink and all that. So, and but anyway, it matches perfectly. So you're just going to get 3 of those gems and you're going to pop them right in the middle of your flower. Use your piercing tool. And you're going to put those just right in the middle of your flower. And it just gives the subtlest little touch. So there we go. Just like that. And then the only final thing is you stamp on that little 1/2 inch strip and then you adhere that with dimensionals. So, so I won't take you through the final stamping and the final adhering, but let's just have a final walkthrough and admire them. So we've got the square card, all sizes. We've got teeny tiny love note with a little sticker on the back in the vellum envelope. And we've got our mini pocket card with a tag. This paper just works with every single size. It works big, it works small. It's just beautiful. So that is our set of cards for today. And you guys even learned a fun fold. So now what? So if you're in the team, you can order this for the team kit. And if not, I will have an ordering special that I announce tomorrow, free with minimum purchase. You can get these 5 cards, or you could purchase this class, and I'll have that information as well. Or you could purchase the PDF. But I'm going to go ahead and stop recording and just come back out to you guys and say hi. So hold on a second. Well, how do I do that? Recording.